And here are Trump's polling numbers. And I keep sharing these with you, but they're so irresistible. I have to keep doing it again. President Trump campaigned on immigration enforcement. The American people voted for it. And Secretary Noem is delivering. Legal immigrants want law and order.
There's no block of voters that shifted more to the right from 2020 to 2024 than immigrant voters. And Donald Trump, at least in some surveys, actually won that vote. On average, it's about equal. So there may be all this stuff, right, about undocumented immigrants and Trump being harsh on them. But immigrant voters themselves have increasingly liked Donald Trump and have increasingly moved to the right on immigration into the Republican camp.
Well, then on that, what you're getting at, how immigrant citizens, voters, feel about people in the country illegally.
Yeah, and this is where it all kind of comes together, Kate Baldwin. Look at this. The net favorable rating, immigrants who are here illegally, among immigrant citizens, again, those registered to vote. In 2020, look at this, plus 23 points on the net favorable rating. But look at where we were in 2024. Minus.
Underwater by 6 points. That's a 30-point shift. Did you know that in all 50 states, self-defense law, not gun law, but self-defense law, uses a simple 5-element test to see if your use of defensive force was legally justified? And that same test applies no matter what state you're in or what tool you use to defend yourself. If you're missing even one of those required elements, however, you've made yourself an easy conviction for an aggressive prosecutor. My name is Attorney Andrew Branca, and I've worked more than 30 years as a self-defense attorney. Every state has seemingly endless, complex pages of laws regarding self-defense, so complex that many top criminal defense attorneys rely on my expert analysis to help win self-defense cases for their clients. If the legal code is that complex for lawyers, how can a citizen gun owner expect to know or even follow the law, especially when a life or death situation has triggered a massive adrenaline-fueled mandate to make that fight or flight decision right now? It seems daunting. Yet I created a simple but powerful framework that has allowed me to serve the legal community and countless American gun owners to simplify this legal complexity into just 5 elements of self-defense law. And you can learn my 5-element legal algorithm I use to consult on and win with the top criminal defense attorneys all over the country to protect law-abiding gun-owning citizens from making innocent legal missteps that land them in prison. Now, with a simple read or listen, you can install my 5-point legal framework so it acts as a sort of muscle memory defense to protect you from losing your rights when you choose to defend innocent human life. Click below to get the latest edition of my book, The Law of Self-Defense Principles, for free. I ask only that you help cover the shipping and handling cost to get the book to you. Who changes their opinion by a 30-point shift?
6 points. Underwater. So immigrant citizens have become increasingly unfavorable in their views of those immigrants who are here illegally. So I think it's so important when we're talking about this debate.
You think it's because the immigrants who are here illegally are all productive lawnmowers and fence painters and roofers, and they're not out committing a bunch of crimes? Or you think the immigrants who are already here get to experience the crime inflicted by these illegals invading our country?
From a political angle to separate those out who are undocumented immigrants versus those who are here legally and those who are citizens and those who are voters, because that group of voters has felt increasingly distant from those immigrants who are here legally. And so again, when we're talking about this, at least from a political angle, this is why Donald Trump feels so comfortable, because in fact, amongst the group that you would think that would be most opposed to this, in fact, they become increasingly favorable, not just towards Donald Trump, but towards a Republican point of view on immigration and becoming distant from those immigrants who are here illegally.
Yeah,
I hope and pray that the midterms are going to be an utter bloodbath, metaphorically speaking, of course, you too, an utter bloodbath for the Democrat Party. Because look at their polling numbers. Remember, Trump is polling with the mainstream media, every place except for X. The mainstream media demonizing this guy as literally Hitler every day, all day on their broadcast. He's above 50% approval. Night after night after night, especially with the riots going on. And look what's happening with the Democrats. Democrat Party approval rating, Quinnipiac. Approval 21%. 21% disapproval. 70%. That's negative 49 points, folks. Negative 49%. How do you survive as a political party in America with an approval rating at 21%? I'll tell you how they do it. They import tens of millions of illegal migrant third world invaders into our country who will be a reliable feudal class for the Democrats, who will receive trillions of dollars in scarce American resources, housing, education, healthcare, everything, cash money, EBT cards. And those people will become the Democrat electorate, the Democrats that the American citizens no longer wish to vote for. And those bodies present in the U.S. will be counted in the census for apportionment of House seats. The Democrats have 20, 30, 40 House seats they would not have, but for the presence of 100 million illegal migrant third world invaders in our country. Super chat's got to be $5, man. $5 minimum on super chats. Get counted in the census, get counted for House apportionment, and get counted for electoral votes during the presidential elections. If the Democrats have 40 House seats they would not have, but for the fact that we've been invaded by 100 million illegal migrant third world invaders, that means they get 40 electoral votes in the presidential election because we've been invaded by these illegal migrant third world invaders. And how many electoral votes did Trump win by? About 80. Is that right? That's a pretty big number. Oh, poor Kamala Harris. What a train wreck she was. But there's no reason the Democrats should start with a bonus 40 electoral votes simply because they allowed 100 million illegal migrant third world invaders into our nation. It is unbelievable. By the way, how bad, in what kind of rough shape does your party have to be in that, first of all, it elects this guy, this gun control lunatic, liar. It elects this guy as a vice chair of the Democrat National Committee, this twink, and he's too far right for them. He's too far right because he's another white dude, a straight white dude. I guess he's straight. I don't know. Another straight white dude, I will presume. This guy is too far right. The DNC just kicked him out. 75 to 25 vote of the Democrat National Committee. This guy was not left enough for them. This gun control lunatic. For the general American political body, how far left do you think they perceive this guy? And he was not enough. The Democrat National Committee is further left than this guy. Now, earlier today, in this afternoon show, someone asked me in the chat, well, how do you report an illegal immigrant? And I said, well, you do it like this. I actually have the poster. But this is what's funny. This is another example of how far the Overton window has shifted on this. Look at this post. It's something that, you know, an administrative secretary in the office she'd get the PowerPoint out and she'd get the fonts and the little logo here and just type everything in. And, you know, it's very basic. I mean, even I could do something like this, right? It's not very sophisticated, not a lot of artistic quality, right? It's kind of general bureaucrat office type production value here. It is the number, by the way, if you ever need to call it, 1-888-DHS-2-ICE, 1-888-DHS-2-ICE. But the Overton window has moved so far that now Homeland Security is comfortable assigning actual graphics skills to this effort. Look at what their new poster looks like. Somebody put actual work into this one. Uncle Sam is putting up a poster and it says, help your country and yourself. Let's go back to the other one. Report illegal aliens. Okay. You see the word invader, foreign invader anywhere in this text? No, because that might have been perceived as, a little bit outside the Overton window. I mean, aren't all these migrants coming here to mow lawns, paint fences, be nannies for our children? Aren't they all here to do good things? But now, how does Homeland Security characterize them now? Now it's not just a white background, generic, the government. It is our metaphorical patriarch, Uncle Sam himself. Why do you want to report these foreign invaders? Look at the old one. Does it say why you should want to? It just says, if you'd like to report illegal aliens, please call immigration. But where's the call to action? Why should you do it? Why? What's the mission? Now there's a mission. Uncle Sam says, help your country and yourself. Report all foreign invaders. And now it's 866 DHS2 ICE. This has a thoroughly World War II vibe to it, right? It feels that way. And foreign invaders. This is how far the Overton window has shifted, and God bless us for it happening, because the vibe of this reflects that World War II vibe where we are a nation at war. And guess what? We are a nation at war. We are a nation invaded by 100 million illegal migrant third world invaders. The fact that one political party in America allowed that, facilitated that, endorsed it, paid for it, doesn't make it not an invasion. It makes the progressives insurrectionists against our nation. We are a nation at war. And if we don't win this war, there's no purpose in worrying about the deficit or anything else. We will not have a nation. We need to secure America for Americans.
Thanks for watching this highlight segment of our full-length Law of Self-Defense live stream. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to give us a like and subscribe for more expert analysis on politics, law, and how to be hard to convict. And to watch the full-length episode of this show, just click right here. Stay safe.